What's up guys, and welcome back to the Gearhead Guy Garage. Alright, so today's going to be the day that we're going to go ahead and finally finish up these lower cabinets. I just got back from the hardware store, just finished picking up the MDF and the plywood and a bunch of other little miscellaneous stuff that I needed. So as soon as we're done with the lower cabinets, we'll go ahead and move up to the upper cabinets. Those should go by a lot quicker than the bottom ones, only because it's not going to require as much reinforcement. They're just pretty much just straightforward plywood, and then that's it. We might not have time to get to the door, only because I want to try and get these cabinets painted because I have to get the Humvee back in here. The Humvee's been sitting outside for about 3 to 4 weeks, and some stuff is starting to rust. Like sometimes get a little bit of light rain. So I want to go ahead and get the Humvee back in here. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I just finished installing the first layer of plywood on the top. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the face and the sides. So for the face, again, all we're going to do is just use 3/4 inch plywood. That'll bring it out another 3/4 of an inch, and then the final MDF will give it the final 24-inch width that we're looking for. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so as you can see, I just finished adding all my facial plywood to the front and on the sides. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is install my floor. Once I install my floor, then I'll go ahead and move on to adding my vertical supports for my doors. Then after that, all there's left is just go ahead and wrap it with MDF. Alright guys, so I finally finished installing the dividers. As you can see, I'm going to end up having 4 doors. The floors are in, so now I'm going to move on to this one. So on this one, I can either install 1 divider and have 2 doors, or I can install 2 dividers and have 3 doors. So I don't know, I'll check right now and see which way I end up going with that. I also need to install the fascia on this and the side covers. Once that's done, then I'll go ahead and start wrapping everything with the MDF. Alright, so got a little bit more work ahead of us. Let's continue. Alright guys, so I finally finished the last cabinet. Yeah, it took me a while. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the front fascia, the dividers, the floors, and the sides. So this cabinet is pretty much complete. The only thing left to do with this one is just to go ahead and throw the MDF on top. Now, one thing I was looking at, when I started piecing everything together, I started noticing how good the you know, the plywood came out. So I just gave it a quick sand with some 220 that I had laying around, and to my surprise, it came out very smooth. It came out real nice. I like the way it came out. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to give it a quick sand. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. Hopefully it comes out just as good as this one. If it does, I'm gonna go ahead and start laying some paint down and seeing how it comes out. Worst case scenario, if I don't like the way it comes out, I can always throw the MDF on there and then just paint it, okay? So other than that, that's pretty much where we're at right now. So I'm gonna try and lay some paint down tonight. This way I can get that content on this video so that you guys, you know, can see how it comes out. We're most likely not gonna be able to get to the doors today. I might have to do that on a separate video just because I think it's gonna take longer, and I might need to go get some more lumber for that. All right, so let's get to painting. All right, guys. As you can see, it's the next day and there's no paint on these cabinets. The reason why is because last night it started getting real cold. It dropped down to about like the high 30s. So I didn't think it was a good idea to start laying some paint down. So I left that for the next day, which is today. And then I also changed my mind. So instead of adding cabinets up here, what I'm going to do is add a pegboard. So I'm just going to add pegboard here and pegboard there. This way I can hang my tools like my reciprocating saw and stuff like that. Okay. And so today what we're going to cover is we're going to be painting these cabinets, installing the pegboard, and hopefully we can get to the doors today. Like I said, it's not on my list of things to do, but if we have time, I'm definitely going to go ahead and get to it. We are also going to be making and installing the cabinet that's going to be going right next to the compressor. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get started. All right, guys, so this is where we're going to be installing the cabinet. This cabinet's going to measure 36 inches wide by 48 inches tall, and it's going to have a depth of 12 inches. So let's go ahead and get started by making the back plate, and then we can go ahead and start framing around it. All right, guys, so I just finished cutting all the material so that we can go ahead and start on our box frame. So my back plate right here was cut at 34.5 inches by 46.5 inches, and my side plates were cut at 11.25 by 48 inches tall. Now my upper and my lower pieces were cut at 11.25 by 34.5. Okay, so I'm going to use the floor to try and keep everything square and straight. I'll be using 1 3/4 inch brads to fasten everything together, and then I'll come back later on and I'll drill some pilot holes and drive in some screws just to add some extra support. Now I will be using wood glue just so that everything, so that it adds more strength to the cabinet. All right, so let me go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys how it comes out. All right, guys, so I just finished putting together the basic structure of the cabinet. Now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and add my gussets on all the corners for added support and cut all the trim, the outside trim, and then that right there should pretty much complete our cabinet minus paint and doors. All right, so for the gussets, again, I'm just using some scrap that was left over from these pieces. All you gotta do is just grab your speed square, bring it all the way down to the corner, the very, very corner, scribe a line, and that'll give you a perfect 90-degree corner. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. All right, guys, so here is the cabinet pretty much done. Went ahead and added all the gussets on both sides. All right, so it's pretty much ready to be hung up right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my stud finder and go ahead and mark all the studs so that we can go ahead and mount it up. Alright guys, so I was finally able to get that cabinet up there. Took a bit of a time, but I got it up there. It's being held on with 6 screws, so that should be more than enough. I'm not really going to be adding anything real heavy in there, just spray cans and paint, stuff like that. I also went ahead and added the center divider for the doors. So the only thing that's left now is just to go in and give this one a good sand. Those ones behind me are already ready to go. They've already been sanded. So as soon as this one is sanded, we can go ahead and start laying down some paint, all right? So let's get going because I really want to get the toolbox painted today and possibly get some doors on there, all right? So let's get going. All right, guys, so I just finished painting the cabinets and this is how they came out. As you can see, they didn't come out looking too bad. They look pretty good, especially this one right here that was made with a brand new sheet of plywood. Came out real nice after a light sand. I went ahead and just painted the inside of the openings for the doors, but everything else I left exposed. Kind of like the way that looks. All right, and then for the workbenches. Now remember, keep in mind, all this was made with old recycled wood. So considering how old the wood was, it didn't come out looking too bad. They look pretty nice. So I think I am gonna end up keeping them as is. The only thing I'm going to do is just put on the 3/4 inch MDF on top and install the doors. Other than that, the only thing that this wall is going to receive is just 2 pegboards, one right there, another one over here, and that's going to wrap up this wall. So unfortunately, I don't have time to do that today. I just got a start time for tomorrow morning for work, and I got to be there early, so I'm not going to have time to do any more today, other than just clean up and call it a day. But tomorrow I'm gonna hopefully I don't get off late. I'm going to try and get a couple sheets of pegboard, get that up, get some tools hung, and then if I have time, I am gonna go ahead and paint the toolbox. I want to go ahead and paint it like a dark gray, just to go ahead and match the theme of the garage. But I'll definitely show you guys how it looks before and after. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Gearhead Guy Garage, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video.